Part 1. The Mystery. At 9:17 p.m., Couch Potato opened his banking app. He stared at the number, closed the app, opened it again. Still broke, which was strange, because Couch Potato wasn't buying Ferraris. He wasn't buying luxury watches. He wasn't flying private jets to Miami every weekend. In fact, he thought he was being pretty responsible. He clipped coupons, waited for sales, used cashback apps, and still, somehow, his money kept disappearing. Every month followed the exact same pattern. Paycheck arrives. Life feels amazing. 2 weeks later, bank account looks like it survived a natural disaster, and Couch Potato had no idea why. So, where was all the money going? The answer is much stranger than most people think. And it starts with something called the golden fries problem. Part 2. The golden fries problem. Imagine it's Friday night. You've had a long week. You're sitting on the couch. You aren't hungry. Then suddenly, a commercial appears. Golden fries. Perfectly crispy. Perfectly salted. Slow motion close-up. The kind of fries that look like they were personally blessed by the gods of fast food. 5 seconds ago, you weren't thinking about fries. Now, you're opening DoorDash. What happened? The fries didn't change. Your brain did. And that's exactly how modern spending works. Because Americans don't just see advertisements anymore. They live inside them. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, Amazon. Every platform is constantly whispering, "You deserve this. Treat yourself. Limited time offer. Only 2 left." Modern life has become one giant machine designed to create cravings. And your brain is extremely good at listening. Part 3. Dopamine Shopping. Inside Couch Potato's brain lives a tiny chemical called dopamine. Most people think dopamine creates pleasure. Not exactly. Dopamine creates anticipation. It's the feeling of, this is going to be amazing. Think about online shopping, browsing products, reading reviews, comparing options, adding something to your cart, imagining how much better life will be when it arrives. That's dopamine. And here's the crazy part. The brain often enjoys anticipating a purchase more than actually owning it, which explains why Couch Potato could spend 3 days researching headphones, then forget they existed a week after buying them. The excitement wasn't in the product. The excitement was in the possibility. And modern companies know this. That's why Amazon invented one-click ordering. The easier spending becomes, the less time your brain has to think. Part 4. The Subscription Trap. One day, Couch Potato decided to check his monthly subscriptions. Big mistake. Netflix, Spotify, cloud storage, premium apps, streaming services, food delivery memberships, fitness apps he hadn't opened in 6 months. Somehow, he was paying for things he didn't even remember signing up for. And that's when he realized something terrifying. Modern companies don't want to sell you once. They want to sell you forever. A $12 subscription doesn't feel expensive. But 10 subscriptions? 20 subscriptions? Now you're losing hundreds of dollars every month without even noticing. Like tiny financial vampires quietly draining your bank account while you sleep. Part 5. The Package Experiment. Then something happened that changed everything. One Saturday afternoon, a package arrived. Something Couch Potato desperately wanted. He tracked it for days, watched delivery updates, checked the shipping status every few hours like a nervous parent. Finally, the package arrived. He opened it, used it, admired it. Then, 10 minutes later, he was back on TikTok. And suddenly he had a disturbing realization. 3 days of excitement, 10 minutes of satisfaction, That was a terrible trade. So he started paying attention. And he noticed the same pattern everywhere. The anticipation was always better than the ownership. Part 6. The $1 billion secret. This is where things get interesting. Because companies aren't really selling products. They're selling future versions of you. The fitness equipment promises a healthier you. The online course promises a smarter you. The expensive jacket promises a more confident you. The productivity app promises a more successful you. The product isn't the real purchase. The fantasy is. And fantasies are incredibly profitable. Because hope is easier to sell than reality. Part 7. The 24-hour rule. Then Couch Potato discovered a strange trick. Whenever he wanted to buy something, he had to wait 24 hours. Just one day. No exceptions. At first, his brain hated this rule because dopamine wants rewards immediately. Not tomorrow. But something surprising started happening. The next day, most of the things he desperately wanted didn't seem important anymore. The craving disappeared. The urgency faded. The excitement evaporated. And suddenly, he could tell the difference between, I need this, and I'm excited right now. Those are not the same thing. And confusing them is expensive. Part 8. The plot twist. A few months later, something strange happened. Couch Potato wasn't earning more money. He didn't get promoted. He didn't start a side hustle. He didn't win the lottery. But his savings account started growing. For the first time in years. Because the real problem was never income. The real problem was impulse. Tiny emotional spending decisions. Coffee here. Delivery there. A subscription. A flash sale. Another plate of golden fries. Every purchase felt harmless. But, together, they quietly stole thousands of dollars every year. And maybe that's the biggest financial lesson nobody talks about. Being broke isn't always about making too little money. Sometimes it's about making too many emotional purchases. Because modern life doesn't just compete for your attention, it competes for your wallet. And every day, thousands of billion-dollar companies are trying to convince you that happiness is one more purchase away. Another gadget. Another subscription. Another plate of golden fries. But the people who become financially free aren't always the people who earn the most. Sometimes they're simply the people who became hardest to manipulate. And once Couch Potato learned that, the most satisfying dopamine hit wasn't buying something new. It was watching his money stay exactly where it was. Thanks for hanging out with our Couch Potato. If you enjoyed this adventure, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Turn on notifications, and we'll see you in the next theory.